Aurelio, back this week for pre-season. Did you get a chance over the break to reflect on what was achieved on the final day of last season after, over those 6 weeks or so?
Yeah, well, look, we sort of have a pretty good time of it after the grand final win, and within the week we had our exit meetings and everyone was gone, and then on a break. So just really enjoyed the break. I think it's important that get away and relax, a little bit of reflection, some nice memories. But we know the first day we stepped back in here in pre-season that what happened in the past was great, but also that there needs to be a new focus ready for a very tough season coming ahead.
On that note, how have the boys kind of come back for pre-season? How's the vibe around the group over the first few days of training?
Yeah, very good. They're always the things that you worry about when you come back after some success, and they come back in pretty good shape. The attitude so far over the last couple of days of training has been very, very positive. I think they're good signs for us.
You've had a new face join the squad for pre-season with Liam Bonig signing from Stott on a 3-year deal. Just firstly, what did you see in Liam that made you keen to bring him to the club?
Look, we just saw a fair bit of potential actually, and we feel that he hasn't even got close to his ceiling yet. Someone who's very, very familiar with the way we want to play. Obviously he knows 3 or 4 of the boys, either from West Sydney or with the national team under 20s, which he's a part of, and he's settled in really nicely. He's vocal, he's not a shy boy, so I think he's going to be a great addition. He's still young, he's still learning, he still needs a fair bit of work, but that's something that he's willing to do. And I think that his attitude shows us that he's got a long career.
There's obviously been a handful of departures from last season, which you can always expect, but many of the key figures remain the same from the championship winning team last year. Just how important is that for you to be able to keep the same squad together and keep building on that success you've had last season?
Yeah, I think it's very important. I think generally you go to an off season and you come back and you generally 8, 9, 10 players who have disappeared, and you got new faces in there. But already what I've seen in the last couple of days of training, it tells you the guys who are really glued and connected together, and the way we do things here. So I think that's extremely important. As we mentioned earlier, Liam has been our only signing. We're probably waiting for one more, I would say, and a few other boys from the academy to join our group once their season finishes. So I think it's very important, and it keeps a little bit of continuity amongst the group, which is important.
Couple that we haven't heard about just yet are Tilio and Jonathan Cohen. Do you have any updates on the likelihood of those two returning to the club for this season?
Well, I think John, there's still some negotiations and discussions with the club, so that's ongoing, so I don't know where that's going to go. And I think it's clear with Marco that he's been pretty keen to go back to Europe. I think it's well reported that he's been in pre-season with Celtic. He was involved in a friendly game last weekend. It's highly likely we won't have the return of Marco, but we just don't know where that's going to end. He's part of Celtic's property. We don't own the player, so we'll see where that goes. And as I said, there'll be ongoing discussions until we really know exactly what's happening before we make the next move.
And I guess there's no rest for the wicked. It's virtually 2 weeks until your first competitive match of the new campaign. Just have you had much of a chance to look at RPR just yet, and how have the preparations gone in those early stages of looking at that? Yeah,
we just started to have a look at RPR, and they're a very, very strong team. They're doing very, very well in the New South Wales National Premier League. Franco Parisi, their coach, we had him here in pre-season observing some sessions anyway. So. It's always going to be competitive. We're only 2 weeks. By that time, we'll only be 2.5 weeks into our pre-season. So it's going to test us. It's going to be a difficult game, but it's another opportunity. Maybe some new faces, some younger faces, having an opportunity also to impress.
And just lastly, in terms of the fitness of the group, how's kind of everyone come back, and you're going to have close to a full squad to pick from for that game? What do you expect?
Yeah, as I mentioned earlier, the concerns are always how they come back after a successful season, and generally their general fitness and their body composition has been very, very good. So really pleased about that. We're still weighing up about exactly how we're going to shape up for that game in 2.5 weeks. There'll be some guys who'll be able to do it and some guys who won't be able to make it. So we'll just have to wait and see in the next couple of weeks. We should be prepared for it.